sides have some kind of idea what they want to do against certain heroes as well. And this time there is the Rubik and Clockwork, but now they're in the different sides. So Pace has the Rubik and Business Associates has the Clockwork. However, there is Doom now, which is something we didn't have in last game. It's been going off maybe a little bit from the people that people like to play. It's definitely still a good hero. The Devour still allows you to have a really good farm throughout the game and stay in like kind of match in farm with the others enemy cores, maybe even have the lead. Doom is still a great tool as well, so there is that. But outside of that, there's nothing too out of ordinary from the picks. Like pretty standard picks from both sides, and just like they just have some kind of plans for sure.
Now, is Doom still regarded as a bit of a flex pick? Because there was a phase there where he was like basically considered a mid hero, and he's always been able to play the 3. He's sort of always been able to play the 4. I haven't seen a 1 Doom in a while. Like, what position would you expect to see him in given this opener?
I would probably expect it to be offlane or 4.
Okay.
By the looks of it, there is a Rubik, so maybe the 4 role is not gonna happen, but there is the potential still. Yeah, I think mid Doom is fine. I've seen it. I'm not the biggest fan of it myself because I feel like sure you can farm really much, but the thing is that you're still a Doom, so it does feel like I think you're gonna be able to farm quite well anyway in offlane. But now you have this Doom hero who is gonna use a lot of his time to farm instead of making moves, and then the enemy mid laner might be something that makes either tower push or some kind of like easy gank potential. That's why I'm not the biggest fan of mid Doom. But there is potential for the mid Doom still. Like maybe this team likes it and they could go for it. I don't think it's bad, but I just don't think it's. I'm not personally a big fan of it.
Okay, it's definitely fallen out. I have not seen it in a hot minute, but recent memory. Both teams banning out a lot of position 1s, and my God, is Pace just looking at what BA did last game and saying, that's a pretty good idea. Faceless Void, he comes back again.
Yeah, the Void again. Now it's on the different side though, so I mean it is a good hero right now. I think it's one of the better carries right now. You can go for this more farming style and then scale, and you still have this amazing team fight. You already see a few heroes. I think you're kind of fine against both of those heroes on lane. I think Prophet can be a bit annoying against Void, but I think you can still do fine. So yeah, it's a nice hero here. Also banning out some of the heroes that are pretty good against the Void, like the Raid King. There is a Naga also banned, PL, Spectre. So there's a lot of carries that Void doesn't enjoy playing against, and they're getting out of there. So it's not going to be the most, like there's going to be a pretty small carry pool in this game to choose from, or not the highest at least.
Let's see. Who's left that Void really hates playing against? Now, what about Arc Warden? That's a position 1 that we saw from Business Associates the other day when we were casting, and they could pull it out again. How does he fare?
Well, that's the thing. I think Void is pretty good against that hero. So I feel like there is most of those heroes that are good against Void, like really good carries, are already banned. So I think the hero that Business Associate is going to have as a carry is going to be mediocre or like kind of not so good against Void. But they might be able to answer to the Void with something else, like the mid hero or the other heroes that can make Void's life annoying. So okay. I think Arc Warden, I think it can be fine against Void, but I do think Void is very good against it still.
And they grab the CM now. Yeah, you're definitely right. Not a lot of position 1s that feel good. They could play like somebody that's just low cooldowns, like Luna, who wants to 5-man and can just really pressure, like a gameplay counter. Like Ursa and Troll, 2 other big position 1s that come to mind that at least have some like options. Grimstroke now.
They could PA on Business Associates. That's something that is okay against Faceless Void, because just for the fact that you have the evasion, and Void will need some items before he can deal with that.
Yeah.
There's already there's pretty squishy supports as well that PA enjoys playing against. Doom can be a bit like Doom is kind of the only hero that they have good against PA right now, I would say. He can buy the axe as well to break. Okay.
That's so funny. I just looked over. I was like, they could do something crazy, like a big beefy strength hero, like in the Chaos Knight realm, but I didn't want to say it because I thought it was too crazy. I'm really surprised that they picked it. What do you think about this hero overall, Peksu? I am a little torn. It's been a hot minute since I've seen a CK game where the hero looked really good.
Yeah, I think this is a mediocre CK game at the most. I don't think it's the best CK game at all. I think there's both supports are pretty damn good against the CK. I think Grimstroke at least is very good against the hero. But yeah, it is a nice hero against Doom and Void. So I think I can see some reasoning for it. Like we said, there's a lot of carry heroes that are already good are banned. So like I said, you're gonna have a mediocre carry at the best, and I think CK is kind of that. Obviously, if he gets to farm, he's gonna have a really like this hero now with a lot of changes that it had. His laning state is worse, but I think he scales way better now in the game. You have a very low cooldown on your Phantasm, and your third spell is now like a chance proc spell. So you have your hero scales, but it is a worse laner. So that's what I'm thinking of that hero.
Yeah, and Crystal Maiden can definitely have some issues in the lane. We've seen her get run down on occasion.
Yeah.
Maybe not as bad this game, but
I think now, yeah, I think now they should have a pretty good lane bottom on business. So I think Crystal Maiden CK is a pretty damn good lane, and it can be a pretty good lane against Doom as well.
yeah.
But we will see.
Okay.
There's obviously CM is kind of like this hero that you either kind of can own your lane, but also there is this potential that you can just get run down because you basically are pretty slow and you don't really have that much HP pool. So
yeah, I agree. If you play it right, this lane combo is really good. You just have to be careful.
Exactly.
They also do have Grimstroke Doom, a combo we didn't quite mention, but that's like an old classic.
Yeah, that's true.
The ulti stacking, so that's like an option in team fights.
But they have a lot of stuff with the Grimstroke. The Rubik double lift as well. Rubik stealing some spells and double like CK stun or Crystal Maiden Frostbite. So this game at least, like I think the last time we casted Grimstroke game, there was not many combos, and we talked about it as also that it's not necessarily that hero like the Soulbind is not the hero, but definitely when you have a lot of spells with the Soulbind, it does make your Soulbind even stronger. So
yeah,
that is a nice little tool there that they have.
Okay, well, business associates, they're going to go back to the original plan. Hot dates tonight. They want some pushing power. And now maybe this CK pick comes into focus a little more. Profit, CK, and the other profit is your cores. Talk about objective taking. As long as your lanes go just okay, you should have a fantastic mid game here.
Yeah, I think business associates have a really nice. I think the lanes are pretty goodly set up. There is like this laning setup that they have nice, and then they can play fast out of that. So I think what I'm a bit scared for Pace is that if they pick too greedy hero here, they could just get run down with. But we did talk about the Broodmother, and I think this is a pretty nice Broodmother game if there is one game for that hero. I think there is almost no one that they would like to put mid against that. And I also like DP and Prophet are just basically food to this hero later on. So if there is a Broodmother game, this is one of those games.
Okay. All right. That's a good thought. I like that.
But let's see if they may feel not so comfortable with it if they lost with it in the game when they had it. So that's something maybe that they're maybe doubling themselves a bit. That maybe they don't want to do it and they just want to go something with more original. But it is a very good Broodmother game.
I know they do like the Magnus. That could be an option, but no, they go conventional. Queen of Pain.
Yeah.
So great with the Void, very mobile, and a pretty classic matchup against Death Prophet as well. Somebody who doesn't really care about Spirit Siphon that much.
Yeah, you have a good lane against DP. You have Chronos, so you have a lot of damage for your potential for your heroes. Yeah, Queen of Pain is pretty good, I would say. I don't think it's it's a nice pick here for sure. Like I don't think there's much to say about it. I think you can go to your lane. You have a lot of AoE damage, helps against CK.
I got something to say about it, Peksu. Where the fuck's the Arcana?
Yeah, I don't know.
And his Faceless Void's looking pretty basic also. I don't know. These college boys, I guess college is expensive, but I had higher expectations for the cosmetics set up here.
Maybe they're also not into cosmetics too much.
I'm going to slowly turn you into a cosmetics guy, Peksu. Game by game, I'm going to wear you down and make you appreciate the fine particles that are Dota 2.
What is the best cosmetics right now in this game from those heroes?
On these heroes?
Yeah, what we're seeing right now.
Oh, man. Well, the Quap one is obvious. Doom has a lot of choices. I think this Rubik looks pretty good. The Rubik Arcana has really stepped him up pretty good. I'm having trouble picturing the Faceless Void cosmetics. He's got some badass ones. I think the Battle Fury is probably a key weapon. That one's like so basic at this point, you almost feel like that's just how Void looks.
Yeah.
Because I think everybody uses the Battle Fury unless you've got the, what is it, the Timekeeper, that big glowy mace. That one's pretty old now.
Yeah. That's pretty old, yeah.
Big fan of this Clockwork cosmetic, though. I remember somebody did a cosplay of this like scuba Clockwork at TI. Was it the TI in Vancouver? TI 8? Cap's wife did it.
Okay.
And she won. And the funny story was that the helmet was so accurate that when she put it on, she couldn't hear or see anything. So on the stage, they gave her the award and she won first place. And then she came backstage and said, "I'm so excited. I'm so glad I got third place." And they're like, "No, you won." She's like, "I won." What? It's just the kind of the irony of like the dedication was so high, the cosplay was so good that the human inside was barely able to function. I always thought that was just such a sweet little TI story, you know?
Yeah.
Turns out those old school scuba helmets are not very practical in real life. Today I learned.
Yeah, I can assume. I can see that.
All right, here we go. Game number 2. An interesting draft out of Business Associates. I'm excited to see the Envy Chaos Knight. This will be a nice little treat for us here. He's been playing a lot of different heroes in this group stage. Yep,
we've been seeing some arc awareness from him and some other maybe not so normal heroes, but yeah, I'm excited to see CK as well. Because the CK, it's at least like I'm a big fan of this hero in general. It's one of my favorite carries to watch and play with. It is like a very, very situational hero, so I'm excited to see what Envy got in his sleeves for this game. He's already has some items in quick buy, looking to go for that Midas, which is I think is a completely fine item again to have on this hero. Especially with that Chaos Strike change being passive, he's happy to get attack speed for sure. We'll see a little wraparound though. Aikster taking some pretty decent damage to get things started. Envy coming back in. Can't decide which target he wants, and they'll just head back to lane. No first blood. An interesting ward as well. Dire putting one of their observers just straight up in the lane outside of the tower. Yeah, this is somewhat of I wouldn't say it's kind of a common ward to put in off lane, because you see some TPs, for example, and you get a little bit more info on the lane. It doesn't also get dewarded often, so some fighting going around here as well. Not looking like a great trade for the Dire. Aikster's still pretty low. They'll get a couple of extra pokes into the Clockwork. A nice stroke will slow him down, but Fear with a 3-hero Crystal Nova. Oh, man. Yeah. So, talking about these lanes a little bit, I feel like Brack should have a really pretty good time, top at least. I think Doom will eventually be able to stay fine in this lane, but the first few levels is going to be pretty annoying for the Doom to stick around. Mid lane, we talked about it a little bit. I think Queen of Pain is favored on this lane. And this tri lane, I'm thinking who is going to favor it in the long run. I would expect Base to feel pretty nice on this lane after like level 3. But until level 3, I feel like Business Associates should have a pretty good advantage on this lane. Yeah, so far Fear has been putting on a lot of pressure with this Crystal Nova, and that does keep them at bay and create situations where Snake King can try to isolate people. Yeah, there's the annoying thing about when you try and you play against Rubik, there's always the Fateful factor, obviously pretty annoying to deal with. Yep. I would say the carry CK is probably more better having a tri-lane than Faceless Void, but what Faceless Void can offer when you don't have the offensive stuff, you can be in front line and then you don't really want to go on this Void because he's just going to time walk all the damage, so there is that kind of little thing for the lanes of this bottom lane at least. Yeah. And 2 range versus 2 melee. I think a lot of time the double range just has an easier time poking, although I say that, and that's going to be your first blood. Grimstroke walks too far forward, gets grabbed by the Reality Rift, and he gets a dose of the reality when you get too close to the Chaos Knight. Yeah, they got to be careful with that CK with that Reality Rift and the Chaos Bolt plus all the CM's damage and the Clockwork. Both Rubik and Grimstroke need to be really careful with their positioning on this lane. I would even expect them to just go on this Rubik right away when they see him again. If he comes close, he can just get pulled and killed. Maybe they go on this Grimstroke. Grimstroke is okay. I thought they would go on him. I think thought he was like not sure what he was doing. All out of position for sure there. Needs to be careful because he doesn't have a TP right now.
Dire, they're poking forward. Both sides very cautious to commit. You can see the Radiant know, like, we don't have a lot of runway here, so if we're going to catch somebody, it's got to be fast. They do jump onto Aikster. He'll be okay. A nice telekinesis sets up a potential turn. Envy still alive. Fear goes down. No, it's the Dire that come out big. Fear and Envy sidelined. A double for the Void.
Yeah, a little bit of a turnaround there. They do go for the Void, like we said. Like they kind of go on the Rubik, but they don't get to use all the spells, and then they turn on the Void. But the time walk difference is a big situation. Suddenly this bottom lane is not even that bad for Pace now. They're gonna get level 3 here soon on Grimstroke and Void, and their like output on the lane is gonna be stronger. However, I think Grimstroke is gonna die now.
Okay. Ooh, they need one more. He's going to live. 22 HP. Turns to throw a stroke. And both sides will back up. Commenting on mid, very even. Mu probably the more experienced player here, so not surprising to see him find an edge. But the Queen of Pain doing just fine. You know, not getting rolled or anything like that. So
yeah, I'm a bit surprised on the Queen of Pain going for his skill build. I think you should probably max Shadow Strike on this lane and just constantly harass Mu, but you go for this build, I feel like Mu is going to be completely fine, because you're not going to be constantly harassed, and you can always blink the Spirit Siphon, so. But the top lane is going kind of way I'm expecting. I think some of those denies are probably some treants as well, but he's definitely taking lead on this lane on Brax.
Yeah, #1 on net worth overall, about 300 up on Doom. And, of course, most of the action here in the bottom lane. Snake King in deep. Of course, has the follow-up, though. Fear is there. Envy jumps in. Time walk back. And Pace will disengage. Another salve forced out. I heard it. Who is it? Void. And now Bounties. We'll see a little skirmish. It does get picked up by Pace, but going to cost him a Rubik, it looks like. Fear finds that one, and now Grimstroke. Okay, they block out the clockwork. They get a nice ink swell, but Envy's got another reality rift. No problems, tanking a few tower shots, and now it is Business Associates that find 2 in the bottom.
I like the what little thing Business Associates has done on this lane. All of them have infused raindrops, and it's a lot of value in this lane. You can see that they can do these trades because they're basically a lot of the damage that the Pace is putting out. Oh, hold that.
Okay, they got Void.
Yeah, but the raindrops are really nice what they're doing, because a lot of they can do these trades way better now, because they're gonna be able to, like, their damage is gonna be coming through once Pace is most of the, like, half of their damage is basically gonna be blocked by these raindrops. So yeah, it's a little nice thing. Like, all of their heroes literally have those raindrops.
And often in tri-lanes, like, all you need is to tip the scales, right? You just need to win one engagement, and then you have a little bit of advantage. If you guys hit level 4 before the enemies, then you can push that advantage even more. So absolutely agreed. And while all that was going on, there was a great rotation top. Mu used that first exorcism alongside the siege creep spawn around 6 minutes. They got that tier 1 tower and also set up a kill on Doom. So now Brax has a really big advantage up here. The tower is already dead, and that's a little bit less map space for Pace to play with.
Yeah, that was... Brax has been doing pretty good on this Prophet so far when I've been watching in these 2 games. He's been winning, kind of dominating his lane, and then using his Wrath of Nature as well really well. Like, not only that they were able to get the top tower, but they were also... his ulti was able to make the difference maker on the bottom lane, and they got the Void kill as well, so... Some nice rotations coming out from Mu, and Brax doing some nice stuff here. I would like for the Queen as well to be thinking about the rotation to the bottom lane, since you have this maxed out Scream of Pain and Sonic Wave. You can definitely turn these things around, but instead they're making a move to the mid lane right now, with Envy even running here.
Yep, Aikster, he's just going to get caught and brought down. Not much the Grimstroke could do. And now back towards mid. Mu and Brax here. Doom comes out. Death Prophet definitely going down. And I like that Mu just holds his ground. recognizes he's dead and makes sure that they can't jump onto anybody else. Although I say that, and Stars jumps in across the river. Oh my, that was an aggressive blink, and he gets put to rest. Now the Clockwork. You're going to find a catch on Grimstroke. I did not expect the Quap to blink like that.
Yeah, I think maybe just being a bit too overconfident there. Like, you don't know if CM is there or not. I mean, you feel really good. You're level 8 Queen with a lot of damage, but gotta be careful. There can be some pesky CM there and just turn it around. So big kill for Business Associates though. Like, they get some nice kill and move, but they do kind of give out the good play by doing a little bit of sloppy play after.
Still lingering around, though. Moo, since he got doomed there, he does have Exorcism and a Haste Rune. Jumps in. Stars, they're going to chase him down. It's a level 2 blink. Snake King was ready and waiting. This was a great setup by Business Associates. They created a trap, and they forced him to spring it. Easy pickings as now they get the Rubik also, and they'll transition this into another tower push. And this is where, as you mentioned last game, Business Associates kind of on this next level where their movements are just a little more fluid. They're really good at taking a gank attempt and then turning it right into an objective. Very efficient stuff.
Yeah, they're just playing really well around these objectives, and they like making the move first, and Pace is kind of like just reacting and farming a bit on the lanes. They're not really trying to do something as a team, and it shows. Like Business Associates are just like one step ahead right now in almost every move. What's happening?
Well, 10-3, 2K net worth lead, and let's take a look at experience because levels are going to be a bit of an issue. The Radiant support's now pulling way ahead, and Pace, they're in this situation where they're really wishing they could pick up 2 tomes, because one of these supports is going to have to be pretty patient on getting that ultimate, and both of these supports really want their ultimate pretty much as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
So this is a big deal, and this is the opportunity cost of a failed tri-lane. Queen of Pain barely lives. The Rocket Flare not enough, but they will find the Grimstroke again. And maybe even the Rubik. Reality Rift, that was a little bit awkward, but they'll still dive the tower. Snake King, ooh, those tier 2s hurt, buddy. Ooh.
A little bit maybe too far there, but oh well. Nice for Pace there, getting some nice kills. Lies actually going the ultimate greed build here. But let's see, that Fear might end up dying here.
How far are they going to go? There is a Doom. And not going to use it. Yeah, Void even skipping boots.
Yeah.
You don't see this on Void. You see this on like Weavers sometimes, or some of these other carries that have like a movement option. I guess Void's got time walked, but like, is this even worth it?
I think the Midas is almost like rushing Midas like this is almost only good when you play against like ultimate free lane, and now he didn't, but I mean he's gonna go for it. Maybe it's gonna work out.
You're gonna catch Quap. So much CC as the 5-man continues. Yeah, I guess you're right. Like if you're planted in a lane and you have absolute free farm in the first 6 minutes, and you can right click a 6-minute Midas, it feels pretty good because you're just not moving. But even just farming jungle camps, like I've heard a lot of people say that, you know, you buy the Yasha early on many carries, partially just because it lets you move faster. You get from camp to camp.
Yeah, that does help you a lot. But yeah, I mean, he will obviously farm quite fast with this, and Midas is gonna be nice for that factor. What I'm a bit scared for is that Business Associates has this very aggressive lineup, and if they see this, that he has gone for this Midas without no boost, they can probably try to even put out the more of the tempo. But what I see though is that Envy is also going for a Midas, so there is gonna be 2 Midas this year. But I think it's pretty normal at this point. So
yeah,
it's just a very good item on both of these heroes, I would say. I don't think there's anything too weird about that.
Yep. Well, they will give the tome to Grimstroke, perhaps, although he just hits level 6, and Rubik has also found his level 6. So now a power spike for Pace.
Yeah. Well, they got the level 6s now, so they can think about making a move. I think ideal move for Pace is to go bottom lane and try to take this tier 1 tower bottom, so they can just try to get some map control and play a bit aggressive. I would really like them to get this Queen of Pain involved. Snaking might die here.
He's gonna walk right into him. Again, Doom has the ultimate, being relatively conservative with it for now. They get that first kill. There's the soul bind. A nice chrono connects on 3. Now Envy's dead, and they're going to get Moo also. The Doom's been used. This has been a great fight. Fear looking for a turnaround, but he'll get interrupted. And that'll now be a 4-0.
Yeah. Well, there is the potential of Pace's lineup that they have this amazing teamfight ultimates, and they use this chrono that was like a 4-man chrono with all the magic damage and then double doom. I don't know if it can be much perfect teamfight than that from Pace. Very cool. Very nice.
Well, okay. We've got a real game now. 12-8, a 1K net worth lead. This will close the gap by a nice little bit. And, I mean, Lies, he's going to get grabbed by Envy. And, oh, no. This is a weird pause. And what feels like a pretty aggressive initiation here from Envy. Kind of just charged into 4. Now, he knows they don't have cooldowns.
This should be a free kill on Envy, I think. I don't know what can they do about stopping about this damage. There is Doom doing a lot of damage. There is a Grimstroke Inkswell going out. There's going to be a nuke from Grimstroke. They know CK doesn't have an ultimate, so not sure what they can do about this. I mean, sure, they can TP Moo in and maybe turn it around, but I think Envy should die here, most likely. And that death, if he dies here, is going to be very costly. Like, he just literally TP'd here and going to die again. A little bit weird from Envy, actually, that he does this, because I feel like he should know that they were just here. Like, they just fought here, and he doesn't see anyone on the map, so it should be a natural place for them to play on.
And you can see the artwork on the mini-map. They just wrote Easy Envy, so I think the Dire are planning on committing to this kill. But yeah, it's weird, because I was about to say before he TP'd in, it looks like the Dire are going to try to transition this into a Tier 1 tower push. But then I stopped saying that because I thought, all right, they're going to reinforce, so Pace might just back up. But it seemed pretty obvious that they were not moving to retreat. So we'll see what happens when this resume comes through. Hopefully Brax is able to come back. That was a pretty sudden disconnection, so I hope everything's okay. Holy moly! Bum, bum, bum. Veil of Discord, queued up on stars. This isn't an item we see on Queen of Pain too often.
Yeah, I think he might feel like he has too bad of a game to go for like Orchid or something like that. So I think the Veil, in that sense, is a nice thing what he's doing, that he's going to be also... They have a lot of magic damage from all their supports and the Doom, so it's going to be a lot of magic amplification on these team fights early on. So I kind of like this idea, like I said, he had a really bad lane, or like pretty bad game so far. With this item, at least, he's still going to be able to be active, and he's also going to be having an impact and giving damage amplification to his team. So it's all right, I think, in this game.
Well, he's not too far away, so we'll see how it works out for him. I remember this build a little bit when it was old Veil of Discord, like back when it gave armor and stuff and was a little more stat heavy. But I guess it was more expensive also.
It was more expensive as well. It is always a little bit like some people don't like it on Queen because you have the pure damage as well as Sonic Wave, so you don't feel like you get the full value of it. But I still think it's a good item, and I think maybe in this game, like I said, in this game, I think it's a nice item. I think normally I don't like it so much.
It definitely feels reliant on having a team that has magical damage. So, all right.
Overall, I feel like Veil is an item that you should have in most of your games, because it is pretty much same cost. I think it's even cheaper than drums. Maybe it's like slightly less. It's slightly more expensive, but I feel like Veil. You see how many people buy drums nowadays. I feel like one of those heroes potentially could just buy a Veil, because I feel like in most games you will still have like if you have like 2 or 3 heroes that deals a lot of magic damage, I feel like the Veil is almost a value an item for either the 4, 5, or the 3 to buy.
I sort of thought the same thing about Vlad's when they changed it back in the most recent patch, where it's like damage. It's like a damage item, not a survivability item. I kind of thought if you've got 2 right clickers, like you're kind of messing up if you don't have a Veil on your team. Kind of like people, or a Vlad's on your team. Kind of like people say about drums. You know, if you don't have at least 1 drums, you might need to reevaluate what you're doing. But we haven't really seen that. Vlad seems a little more situational. Like there's some position 3s that really like to grab it early. But, I
think Vlad's is a good item as well. I just think, like, you lose some of the stats, feels pretty bad about the item. And some of the, like, I think I agree with you that if you have like two heroes that rely a lot on right clicks and you can play this fast like 5-man Dota kinda, I feel like that is a nice item to have. But if you can't play a lot as a team and you can't get so much value out of that, it doesn't feel as good. And it is a pretty expensive item as well. It's not like Veil and Drums that you can get them for like 1,500 and then you can just kind of like feel good about it. But Vlads, you actually have to commit like 900 gold or 800 gold more, and it can be the difference maker for some people for sure.
Yeah. Well, the glories of casting, Peksu, you've got to be prepared to podcast about anything at any moment.
Yeah.
There could be a 30-minute pause just waiting, lurking, interrupting your feed of Dota. Maybe we'll get an update here. The Italiano gangster bold enough to ask if everything is A-OK. Excited to see what the response will be. So how's casting been treating you, Peksu? I saw the other day that you tweeted that, I guess the other day, a couple weeks ago, but that you were, interested in playing still, but also interested in casting a little bit, trying to do it all, I guess.
Yeah, so my main focus is still playing, obviously, but
Okay.
casting is something I've been like looking to do a little bit. I think it's a fun thing to talk about Dota, and it's like I like to talk about Dota with my friends and stuff. So I feel like I can have some nice like information about the way like people like to play and like share it a little bit, and something that I have thought about for doing for a while. And now I have some time since there's no team stuff right now, so felt like giving it a shot a bit, and I've been enjoying it so far. So yeah.
Have you always thought that, like, casting could be for you, or was that a relatively new thought since, I guess, the stuff with OG Seed, at least from my perspective, it seemed kind of sudden. I don't know if it actually was sudden for you, but...
It was pretty sudden. I mean, it was kind of like everything happened pretty quickly. But yeah, I mean, I already thought like before joining this thing that maybe one day I will try it, and then or that team, and then now the opportunity came that I could do it, and that's kind of how it went. Nothing, it just kind of happened in a way that I felt like okay, and maybe I can just do it right now because I'm not looking to rush into teams or whatever. Like I just feel like if there's something to happen, then it happens. But right now, casting is just something that I want to try and see how it works out.
Well, and it's harder now too as a player looking for teams because there isn't an official trade window. Like that was one of the greatest things about our DPC circuit. Even through like all the ups and downs, the good and the bad, just having a structure for these windows when it's okay to trade players. It just made it better for everyone. And I talked to Dendy about this not that long ago with Bait because they've shuffled a few times since this whole lockdown thing started. And it's really hard. You kind of feel like you're poaching players from an already existing team. And it's like you don't want to start this cascade of we poach a player, then they have to poach a player, then someone else gets poached. And that's when the chaos gets created. So it's... I don't know what the solution is to that right now because you can't just rush a DPC system in, but I guess we'll hold that thought as Envy down bottom. A quick resume, and there's Power Cog back up. Envy falls first. Snake King does set up the counter kill onto Lies, though, and this might have been a great bait. Pace are out of gas because they just expended it all in a big team fight, and, well, they trade their position one, but it does end up being a good fight for BA.
Well, they were committing for that enemy kill, like they said, so good for them. But they do end up losing 3 heroes for that. Just nice reaction though. Brax was having a TP ready with the Orchid as well and move pretty strong as well, so pretty bad that enemy dies, but at the same time they do trade the carry, so probably won't be as unsatisfied with that than in the end.
Tier 1 will fall as well, so that's 3 Tier 1 towers dead in favor of BA, and not a single tower killed by Pace. And that dynamic naturally is going to cut off some of the map, give business associates a little more breathing room, and the ability to put on pressure kind of whenever they feel like it.
Yeah, they can definitely feel more like free to do more because they also have really good vision set up right now. So they will probably see almost any time Pace wants to do any type of move right now. They just push the lanes in. They will always have to smoke, and if they see that they're not like pushing the waves, they can kind of predict it to happen. So business associates kind of fine with this. Envy wants to get a bit bigger. He's even using his ultimate to farm. Nowadays it's pretty fine because you have the Phantasm cooldown so low. So But at the same time, pace also, I don't think they don't feel that bad. I think both teams are kind of fine farming. I don't think both teams are needing to make a move right now.
I see. Well, and as you say that, they'll smoke up to try to look for bounty runes here. 3 picked up by
Brax
Business
might
Associates. Brax, he's going to see them as he pops up, and yeah, they will commit. Don't need to use the Doom, but they do pop the Sonic Wave, and a pretty easy kill there. I saw somebody in Twitch chat mention, actually, with Veil of Discord, they've changed it now where it's just increased damage from spells, not magic damage. So I think it actually works on Pure now, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, yeah.
I guess I don't know 100%, but if the tooltip is not misleading, then yeah. So
no, it should. Yeah. That's
little buff for Quap.
That is correct. That is. I mean, sure, it's maybe not as good as I thought in general then, but I think it's still a really nice item, and for sure for Quap it's even better than.
Yeah, but yeah, I had forgotten about that because that always was the conundrum for a long time. Is it worth it knowing the ulti's Pure? But alas, 15-10, still a lead for Business Associates. Thought Envy was going for a catch there. Just an Echo Saber up next for him. So nothing too crazy for the Chaos Knight. Thought maybe we'd see an Armlet. That's an old classic. Pretty good. Just the way Phantasm works.
Right. Nice ult here. Can you get double Doom here probably?
Soulbind, double Doom. There it is. DP, Clockwork, done.
All right.
Damn, 15 minutes and they've done that combo twice. That is very solid.
It's nice. It's working out. Like, there's games where you don't get it even once. Like you wanted to get it done, but sometimes it doesn't happen. This game it's already 2 times, and it's looking pretty good for pace for sure. I feel like I think both teams can definitely win this in late game. It's gonna go down to execution, but right now at least pace is putting good they're showing that they can definitely take these opportunities and find some kills.
Pretty even now. And Void, he had that night. Midas looking at the farm differential, a little bit ahead of the CK, both with Midases, and both of them not spending as much farming time as they'd probably like. Got a lot of skirmishing this game, nearly 30 kills in 17 minutes, as now Business Associates move into the Roche pit. And this is one of the big advantages of this draft. They take objectives so easily. Absolutely worth it to deploy the Exorcism. And I also like this build from Moo. Drum BKB. Not going for Yule's Scepter, but just straight survivability, early damage output. We want to cripple him before this game gets out of control. And now we'll see some pressure onto the Void. This is going to be a tough kill, though. They've got another stun. Wrath of Nature with some follow-up, but the DP not able to get there in time to drop a silence.
Yeah, the Void gets away. Yeah, the BKB, talking about the bit. I feel like it's the right item probably. Like you don't probably want to get Yules in this game because I feel like you're probably gonna get killed anyway. Yules doesn't necessarily help against the Soulbind or the Doom or the Chrono. So at least if you can just pop your BKB and go in with your ulti, there might just not be enough damage to kill the DP through the BKB right now. They rely a lot on the magic damage. However, later on the game, obviously, when the Void will get bigger, I feel like the BKB can kind of be a non-factor as well. Still, there's a lot of pure damage as well. So this is kind of like you said, it's gonna be an item that they want to end the game in like next 10 minutes. If they don't end the game in next 10 minutes, I feel like this BKB can be kind of like useless.
Yeah, DP's already a hero that suffers a little bit from falling off a cliff. She hits that wall and doesn't scale endlessly. Her Aghanims has helped that a lot. But an item build like this maybe just accelerates that dynamic. I think the Echo Saber is flying out for Envy, and still a lot of time on this Aegis, 3.5 minutes. And they're looking to put it to use. The Scout, they find Aegster, a stolen hook shot, not going to help him out there. And they've also found the Void. He does have a TP, time walk into the tree line, and he stuns here. Snake King does not have the hook shot. And he will make it out. So just a pick on the Rubik. Not the hugest of wins for Business Associates, but the pub train is real here. I guess it's not a pub, so not a fair nomiker, but they are 5-manning it up hard.
Yeah. It's probably fine. I mean, the item builds that they're going for definitely shows the indicator that they want to just close out this game in the next upcoming 10 minutes, so just taking out these tier 2 towers is good. Good start for that. There's a BKB coming on Brax as well, so they have double BKBs now. And Envy has the Aegis, so definitely they want to be playing really fast and aggressive now.
Double damage. Ooh, Quap with double runes, actually. A DD and an
I
Arcane.
see Brax. The Brax can be here. Fear can just...
But Stars walks right up, face checks it. Do they have the damage? Void gets silenced as he comes in. Beautifully done by Brax, and Lies will get put down. That is a heartbreaker, and now the rest of this fight certainly not going to look good for the Dire. Italiano will fall, and now up to the high ground we go. Stars still with the DD on. Fear pops the ulti, sets up that kill onto Grimstroke. They do secure the Aegis, so there's a small win there, I guess.
Yeah. I think it's not the worst thing for FaZe. Obviously, you want that. You don't want to lose like that, the fight. I think it's obviously a win for Business Associates, but at least they do force the DP ulti in a place where they can't get pushed so fast. So it will buy time for FaZe to look to farm either, or then make a smoke move themselves with this Chrono now. Because they do know that they still want to push this tower without the DP ulti, so I think they could definitely still fight this with the Chrono. But it does look like that they don't want to do it. They maybe feel that not strong enough without the Doom, so...
Well, they'll still get a tier 2.
Yeah.
A free tower, and that is the end of the outer towers. So we might see another rotation for the second Aegis before high ground gets secured. But in the meantime, Business Associates likely to be on, kind of this half of the map.
Yep. They just want to make sure that they are keeping them like farm away from farm as much as they can. Obviously, they can't go too crazy about like putting themselves into a bad position, because there's always the potential of the Soulbind and the Chrono. We saw the potential that they can still turn those fights around, so they have to respect that. But they're still in a good lead right now, and if they keep playing like this, I feel like it will kind of work on the way they want to keep playing.
Now, BKB on Void, though. That will prevent what happened in the last fight. And we did see some of the power of the team fight from the Dire earlier on in this game. So I haven't lost hope yet. I definitely agree it's looking rough. Dota Plus says 80-20. So probably fair.
Yeah, the BKB is going to be a real like game changer for FaZe, because I feel like there's not many ways that they can kill the Void. And like, I like the BKB in that sense that they have a lot of spells, a lot of magic damage, so Void doesn't necessarily need to think about his damage. He just needs to stay alive and get a good Chrono, and his team is going to deal a lot of damage in that Chrono, so I like the BKB a lot.
The Doom, the Chaos Knight also pretty close to his BKB. Brax has his 9-second charge still, and the Death Prophet is still also sitting at 9 seconds, so... Some very beefy BKBs on the field as Quap, she gets hook-shotted, does have a blink up, but there's the silence, Yule Scepter, and they're going to have another silence. Oh, it looks like they might have stacked them up there. Either way, they still get the kill, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, they get a kill in the end, so nice little heads-up play there. They're definitely making the Stars' life not so easy. He's been recovering pretty well, but... there has been some nice, like, annoying deaths for the Team of Pain. The way he's been playing really far. Yeah, and it is sometimes it works out, kind of you get to push out these lanes, but sometimes you just feel like that.
Now they're getting into this point where they're going to have to take some risk to break this game open. So those kind of situations will happen. Also, the pipe is completed on Snake King now, so this Clockwork is pretty survivable. A great pipe game with all this magic damage.
Yeah, this is a really good pipe game. I like this from Snake King a lot. Sure, you have those big BKBs, but you will still have some downtime when you don't have them, and pipe will help you a lot with that.
And especially really just the way they're playing. This heavy 5-man aura items are naturally going to be very nice.
Yeah, Brax is also just... Brax is kind of doing the same thing as in last game. He's kind of like... We have talking a lot about enemies' carry potential, but the Prophet is going to go for this right-clicker build again, and...
It's all bait. Envy... Oh, no! They dropped the Soulbind on an Illusion! DP baits him out. Yeah, they're still going to get one, but now the real turn. Brax is here with the BKB, starting to throw the right clicks. And hook shot
nice
off
chrono.
the mark. Is it a nice chrono, though? Will the follow-up be there? The team pretty far away. Sonic Wave sets up onto Snake King. It does work out okay, but can Pace make it back to the high ground? And the answer would appear to be yes. It's only 2 support kills, but given the situation, I think Pace will take it.
Might get the enemy as well, though.
Here's the Doom. BKB popped, and yeah, they've got the damage. Considering that started off with a soul bind wasted, this has turned so well. They're going to get 4 kills out of this. A really awkward setup, but it pays big dividends.
Yeah, I mean, the good thing about base lineup is that they have a lot of ways of like taking these fights. You have the doubles, you have the double Doom potential. Sure, you can whip it out, but you still have a chrono. You still have a lot of magic damage from the Rubik and Grimstroke. So, I'd say, I mean, business associates are still in the lane in the game, but they need to be careful how they take these fights. This game can suddenly turn out of hands for them.
Snake King jumps in, some follow-up damage, but the gangsta pretty tanky. Crypt Swarm not going to be enough there. Fear now coming in. Soulbind comes out. Business associates need to be a little bit careful here. They don't have Brax. He's their big damage dealer, and it looks like they won't be punished for this bout of hyper-aggression.
Well, they don't lose anything there at least, so that's the good thing for business associates. But like I said, the way their game is kind of going right now, I feel like it does benefit Pace's lineup way more than it does business associates, because they, like I said, we have this BKB, DP rush. Sure, it is good. It's good right now, but your charges are getting lower, and the more the game goes, the easier that it's gonna be for them to kill a DP. They can just literally chrono. They don't have any saves for him. So if they get a good chrono into some magic damage, it will just keep feeding. So the next Roshan is going to be the main objective for this game. I think they need to secure that on side of business associates.
Both teams pretty grouped up right now. Dire holding their triangle, but kind of anticipating the other could be making an aggressive move.
Yeah, I also like what Queen is doing with this build. I think they're going for the Aghanims with the Veil. It's a very nice thing. Not only that the spell damage, but also that you're playing into Prophet, you're playing into CK. So just all this illusion, minion clear, pushing out waves potential is gonna be even better. So I like it a lot.
Yeah, that's a really good call. The Ags on Quap feels so situational, but mass units, definitely a good setup. We'll see.
It's also because CK is basically not a hero if you don't have an ulti. It kind of feels like that.
Definitely.
So just deal with those illusions.
Smoke now from the Dire. They've picked up tier 3 items and got a couple of decent ones. I'm a little surprised they're not using the Quickening Charm.
It's gonna get a DD here on Lies. Oh, Snake took it up.
And is there a potential turnaround play? The Radiant looks like they're trying to bait with Snake King. They are nearby, but not close enough to really commit, and they'll just sacrifice the Clockwork. Brax is going to TP out. Fear is going to run.
Enemy's trying to bait with his illusion or something.
Okay, well, not going to save Fear. And yeah, Envy pops the Phantasm.
Actually going in.
Just jumps onto Acre, pops his BKB, and it's a dead Rubik. Both buybacks now being used by business associates. This is bold, and they might get punished. Hook shot does slow down the Void. He's just trying to keep Brax alive. He gets off the BKB, but the bashes. It's too much. Lies able to survive. Envy doomed, but he also survives through it. And there was a buyback used by the Rubik. So it's a 4v5 now on the field. Brax without buyback, but Moo, still some time on the Exorcism.
Yeah, they do have Exorcism, but they do know that the Brax is dead, and they knew that they run into this rush pit. I feel like they should not give this rush for free on Pace. They're 4v5. Sure, they don't have the spell ultis, but they're strong still. Oh,
they might get a catch, though. The Doom rooted up. That Frostbite hurts as Envy runs to the high ground. Disabled, still looking for a target. Void now jumps in onto the Clockwork. Remember, business associates used buybacks for this. Envy trying to sustain. Actually survives for a moment as they get the kill on Doom. It's a great ult from Fear. And Pace will be repelled. A tough break for Envy. And now the buyback from Doom.
So they want to secure the rush themselves now. Void has to regen up though, so it's gonna be a little bit away, taking some time from it.
It's like
Brax is
pace
gonna
can
be up.
scare them out, but can pace actually kill it? That's what I'm worried about.
Yeah. It will be a bit hard. So I think this is gonna be again. I think this is gonna benefit the business associates actually, because unless they get the kill right now and move.
The BKB though also popped by Doom. Spider Leg is going to give him an out. Great silence on 3, and now follow up by Snake King. Big time disables. Void's here, no chrono. Commits onto Fear. That's the dieback. And now the Soul Bind. Snake King in trouble. The double lift, but Void falls.
Brax just keeps hitting them, no stop.
Yeah, Doom's going to die to the Soul Burn.
All right.
The real carry arrived. That MKB's done. So even through the BKB, Brax right clicks like a monster. It's for about 300 right now.
Yeah. It is like, it's kind of the bait, the CK. CK is going to tank a lot of spells, and if Brax, like you saw in that fight, that Void was literally only looking for the Nation Prophet, because he knows that he's the one that is dealing the most damage. So if they keep Brax alive, I feel like he's just going to be doing so much damage in this fight that it's going to be too hard to deal with them. But yeah, good fight from Business Associates. They played around the fact that they didn't have Chrono and Doom, so they were able to just tank those spells and turn it around. So nice stuff from Business Associates.
And both teams did commit a number of buybacks. Both Doom and Rubik were diebacks on the side of Pace. So, or maybe Rubik didn't die back, but still, big commitment for both sides. And now the high ground fight commences. There will be a Chrono when Void is up. The tier 3 falls. Will creep clear out of stars. Of course, the Aghanim's in tow. So that's a 31-second cooldown. Not something you got to be concerned about.
Yep, it's fine. You have the Kuken in Charm as well, which is pretty nice when you have this type of build. So you can just use the ultimate to push some waves. Nothing too weird there.
Brax, he's going to take the Mind Breaker. That is a great item. Oh, okay. He's got the Enchanted Quiver. That might actually be better on the Prophet.
Yeah, I think the Quiver is better, and you can give the Mindbreaker to potentiate to Envy if he wants to.
He's got the Paladin Sword. He's probably going to hang on to that.
You might have that. That is also a pretty nice tool.
Because it synergizes with the Chaos Strike, right? The big
it is good. It is good for sure. It wouldn't even be that bad on Mu necessarily, but it's probably the best on the CK for sure.
Sonic waves all over the place. But now we're at the point where these Chronospheres need to be big. And with the
smoke, but that wasn't a reason. They saw that smoke, so they're probably just gonna run into base. Unless they want to fight.
Nice observer down. Could be an opportunity for Void to catch someone, but into Aegis, this is so scary. Stars, hookshot hits the creeps. But they still find Void. Oh no, Lies. This could be a big misplay. He's stunned up. He's silenced. He's forced staff back. Just barely lives.
He popped BKB still.
He had to BKB to live through the Orchid.
He was fine. I think the Orchid even popped out before he popped BKB. He was just very scared there.
Did it? Oh, okay.
Yeah. The Orchid didn't really do any damage there. So he was just... that was just a panic from him there. He was fine.
Okay.
But good stuff from Business Associates. I was surprised that they got caught there, because that smoke was definitely on a vision, and they were still able to get jumped like that. So a little bit sloppy from Pace there. But at least they don't lose anyone.
Look at this adaptation from Brax, though. We remarked pretty much the same build, except last game he went for crit here. Just raw damage with the Daedalus. And now he's going Satanic. Feeling like he needs a little more survivability in this one.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the Satanic, because not only that you get the status resistance in this game is really great, but also the thing is that if you don't kill this guy on the Chrono, he will pop BKB and he will heal to full, and then he will just be hard to deal with. So I'm a really big fan of this Satanic build on Brax. I think it's like the best item he can buy here.
And is status resistance generally considered good against Doom? Because it has this weird dynamic where it reduces the time but doesn't reduce the damage, right? So the Doom actually does more DPS but lasts a shorter amount of time.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's still... I still think it's good, because there's also the Rubik spells and Grimstroke spells. So there is that as well. I mean, the status resistance, it is nice against Doom. I was still thinking it's a buff, because I don't think it's mostly about the damage when you think about Doom. It's mostly about the things you can just use items. So I think that is the bigger thing.
Okay. Connection now onto the Faceless Void. Quick BKB, but oh my god, he's dead. Oh my, the Phantasms plus the Prophet. He is dead without buyback. That is a heartbreaker. I feel bad for this gentleman because I know he's going to be looking at Twitch chat watching this VOD later. And ouch. That's a tough way to go out.
Definitely. Just a little bit sloppy from the Void, a few things now using BKB. It's just like a hard thing. It's like when you have Void, this is the problem when you have Voids like this and you don't have heroes that can go in. It's so hard for the Void to just start with a fight with the Chrono, unless you find into like vision and stuff. But
yeah,
it's like they jump on you and you're in the pressure that do you jump back, use your BKB and get out, or do you just go in with your BKB? It's a hard decision.
And I get it too, because like he knows how important that Chrono is, so you don't want to just blow it. You need to make that perfect connection in a situation like this. He has his BKB on. He feels relatively unkillable, but the Phantasms are easy to underestimate at this stage of the game. You know, Envy's not super farmed, but he's got an Assault Cuirass. Those illusions hurt. There's a lot of minus armor here, and as we've talked about, Brax hits really hard. Oh, man. Well, they're going to go for the double Doom. BKBs get popped, though, so only so effective.
Yeah,
and even though this is nice, it's just not going to matter.
Yeah, they do that with the Void out the Void. Now they don't have Soulbind or Doom, so...
And there's no buyback on the Doom. Chrono comes in, Void, he wants to bring down Brax. This will be nice. Okay, that's a good kill there. But Brax has the buyback. He also does kill Fear. The final hold from the Dire. It's going to be a 4v4. Fear stuck on the sideline, but now the Quap's dead. Immediate buyback. The Barracks still falling, and this will be Megas if they can finish these off. About 10 seconds left until we've got another Sonic Wave. Envy low. He's already used the Aegis, but they kill Lies again as he jumps in. Doom coming up. Buyback from Lies. They want Brax. That could be his dieback. Brax trying to finish off for the Megas, and he gets it. And
well, that's buyback. So I think what you do now on pace is you go all in mid. I don't think you have another chance. You know this Prophet is dead for 2 minutes. Yeah. Sure, it's not going to be easy, but I don't think you have much other play. I don't think you're going to win this game into Mega, so...
They don't have a good Mega lineup here. You know, if there was like a Medusa or someone that could actually hold this off, maybe, but I agree. This is one of those... This is your 90-second window. It might be a long shot, but... Yeah, this is probably the best opportunity you'll find.
Yeah, exactly. It's probably the best chance you can have trying to win this game, but also at the same time, Business Associates are still going to be looking to play aggressive here. They might even just go on this Void here.
Right, another scenario where they know that there's no cooldown, so even without Brax, the 4v5 doesn't feel as bad.
Yeah. Well, they don't feel that good about pace, about doing that play, so they're just going to play the defensive game. They're going to wait, Business Associates are going to wait for Brax to be up, and then, I mean, maybe they're just going to go anyway. They don't care, it looks like.
Exorcism. Ooh, the Soulbind. Okay, double dagger. It's an AoE dagger anyway. Quap's dead. That's a dieback there.
Yeah. Alright.
And... Okay. A double damage.
They're just going to wait for Brax here. And probably take the DD on... I mean, they don't see it actually. But if someone scouts it, it's going to be... Should let Brax take it, and they can probably even just go hit the throne here, because they know they don't have buyback on this Queen of Pain. But let's see. I think they saw the DD on deck with the courier. Maybe not. They didn't. It didn't seem like they saw it.
All right. Well, Brax does TP to the tier 2, so it looks like he is going to walk it up.
Yeah.
Maybe they did catch a glimpse. Okay, now he wants to farm. Brax feeling like he needs some ancients here.
Casual ancients.
A little surprised that he's neutraling right now, but maybe this is why.
He wants the neutral items. It does.
Okay.
I guess.
All right, that makes some sense. And now he's going to TP in. They've already initiated on the Void. There's the BKB Chrono. Connects on 3. This is pretty nice. Soulbind, follow up from Doom. They get Brax again. But Lies does pay with his life. It's still a 4v3 even without Brax. Snake King goes in deep. The Italiano Gangsta, he'll get put down. Does have the buyback, though. The Exorcism, one of the bigger issues they're going to have to deal with. The Death Prophet's still pretty healthy, and they force the dieback now. Snake King, he's going to get fire bushed. Okay, the fountain hurts, bud.
All right.
And
GG.
Queen of Pain up, but yeah, there it is. GG's called, and it will be Business Associates. A little bit of a sloppy game for BA.
Yeah.
They definitely made some blunders, but in the end, 2